Well, I wake up in the morning, put my boots on like everybody does, grab my hat as I hit the door. But there's something different, there's something more. I've got bullets in my pocket and a rifle in my hand. As I roll outside the wire, I know it might be my last stand. All the thoughts inside my head are mine and mine alone. The mission that's before me and the ones I leave at home. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow, may death fear me. And when I run into the fire, Lord, may your hand lead and guide me. 'Cause I've got bullets in my pocket and a rifle in my hand. As I roll outside the wire, I know it might be my last stand. All the thoughts inside my head are mine and mine alone. The mission that's before me and the ones I leave at home. If I fall, carry me home, shed a tear, but no, I'm not alone. For those who fought and fell before me will be waiting to welcome me home. 'Cause I've got bullets in my pocket and a rifle in my hand. As I roll outside the wire, I know it might be my last stand. All the thoughts inside my head are mine and mine alone. The mission that's before me and the ones I leave at home. The ones I leave at home.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the True Patriot Outfitters podcast. It is me, Gene, your host. You were just listening to Mr. Jonathan Wells. Not only is he a core member of the Stop 22 program, he is an Army combat vet himself. Amazing singer, songwriter. You need to definitely check homie's music out. A guy that my family and I call a very good friend. He and his beautiful family. We've had them here at our house, and it was just one of the neatest individuals you ever meet, man, and just one of the coolest, beautifulest families you'll ever meet as well. Support the guy on his music there, and absolutely check out the Stop 22 tour. Tonight's episode brought to you by none other than the mothership itself, the Romans Warrior Foundation. With inside the Romans Warrior Foundation, you got the Stop 22 tour, you got the Global War on Terror's Wall of Remembrance, you have the Hoosiers with Hearts Disaster Relief Team, and of course the RWF Warrior Field Ops Division. We are a proud collaborator and partner with the Romans Warrior Foundation. Folks, we're going into a really strange time of the year right now. It's fall. There's a lot of transitioning. We can talk fish stuff all day long about that, but also as people. This can be, as we approach the holiday season, for many of us, it's an amazing, awesome time. We're getting ready to settle down with a bunch of family and friends and eat a bunch of food and have some holiday times. But I also want you to remember that for a lot of folks out there, especially very important people in our communities, this can be a very trying time of the year as we approach this and as we get into it. If you know a vet, if you know active military, if you know a first responder or former or family members of these, reach out to them. Remind them how important they are. Remind them how grateful we are as citizens for the sacrifices, for everything, their service, everything they and their family have given so that we can celebrate this stuff here in the United States of America. We can celebrate these holiday seasons. It's because of these people, folks. All right. Without them, things would be completely, completely different. Whether you served in combat or not, it doesn't matter. You took the oath. And for that, we thank you. We love you. And you're important to more people than you realize. Just remind them during this time of the year. All right, we got that out of the way. Let's get into it. So tonight we're going to go over a couple things. First, we got a cool end of season event I want to share with you that's getting ready to happen here in Colorado at Pueblo Reservoir. Next, we're going to go over some of the adjustments and some of the changes that are going to be happening for 2024. We've corrected some course. We've made a few adjustments for the All-American Kayak Series. I've got none other than the man himself, Mr. Joshua Booth. He's here to join me. We're going to talk about some of this, give you folks maybe some insight into where the train of thought came from with some of these adjustments that we're going to make. And then we're going to talk about some of the locations that we're going to, because it's getting extremely exciting. The more and more we're working on this stuff behind the scenes, trying to line up and make these amazing, amazing events. I want to remind you guys to please absolutely comment, chime in, give us your thoughts, good, bad, indifferent. We want to hear them. I mean, that's the whole piece there. We have a job to do at the All-American, and we're going to do that to best represent all anglers and represent the series, for growth and for maintaining it, sustainability. But at the same time, we don't ever want to get to a position where you folks think you can't voice your opinion to this stuff. That's important. So that's why Josh is here with me. And then we're at the end of the show, we're going to go into the Colorado Kayak. Bassmasters had its end of season meeting where equally a bunch of things were voted on by the members, and we got some cool changes coming for 2024 to the local scene here. So I've got Mr. James Strawbridge sitting in the green room right now, and he's going to join us later in the show. And hopefully we'll have Mr. Matt Flanagan also will be joining us. Those are the two guys that run the Colorado Kayak Bassmasters, to talk about some of those changes and the schedule a little bit. So a lot of cool stuff to go over. But before we get there, I was doing a recording interview that will be airing coming up here, because there's an active Army military member in our community here that also is into kayak fishing, and he's a founding member of another nonprofit that does the very same thing we do, called Rack Fishing Association. They were based out of Florida, and then they've got chapters running around, and this is the Colorado chapter that Cyrus Dooley runs up here. So he and I got to talking, and then I was talking with Brian Romans at Romans Warrior Foundation, and we just realized we got to do something for end of season, man. So we've come up with something. Cyrus and I put our brains together, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to Pueblo Reservoir, and we're going to go down there November 10th and 11th, so on Veterans Day. Now, the weather could play games with us. We don't know, but we're going down there, and we're going to go fishing for Friday and Saturday, both days here. Rack Fishing is going to provide a bunch of kayaks to make sure we got kayaks for butts, so we can put butts in kayaks. I've got several kayaks, and I've already got 2-3 guys already coming down that are going to join us. Dude, we're putting this thing together to the point where we're actually going to have Raptor 6 Ranch is going to cut us a heck of a deal on some literally fresh, that's a beef ranch, okay? Beef and cattle ranch. We're going to get some fresh chicken, fresh beef right from the ranch, a veteran-owned beef cattle ranch, Raptor 6. We're going to purchase some of that from there. And then the guy that's going to be joining us down here is an actual chef. One of the guys, he's going to cook up and barbecue for us on Friday night and Saturday night. A lot of this good meat down here at the campsite. We're hoping to have guys come out and join us that can only maybe just get down there to fish, but we're also hoping to get some folks to be able to stay over with us, or at least join us for dinner before they head out. That would be fantastic. So we're hoping the weather's going to play nice with us. We're going hell or high water. We're going to be down there to celebrate the end of season here in Colorado. This is open to all veterans, all first responders, all active military. If you want to come fish down here, reach out to me and hit me up. We know a lot of people that got a lot of extra kayaks. We'll find a boat for you and get you in there if you don't have one yourself. If you have a kayak, please come down and join us. We're going to be in Arkansas Point. We're going to be launching out of the south. That's where we'll be out there messing around. And I'm sure back at camp we'll have some beanbag games set up there. We'll have some good stories being told around the campfire. It's going to be an awesome, awesome time. And what an awesome way that we're going to try to celebrate veterans on Veterans Day down there for our end of season deal. So, all right, folks, we got all that covered here. That's going to be, like I said, coming up November 10th and 11th here. Got that covered. Let's get the man himself in here and let's talk a little bit All-American Kayak Series. Let's bring into the show Mr. Joshua Booth. Mr. Booth, how the heck are you, sir?
Good evening. Doing good. Doing good.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule here. I know you got some stuff coming up here with the Big Bass Bash that's taking place at Lake of the Ozarks, and you got the Moyak Championship right around the corner here. So you're a busy dude, man.
Yeah, we're about to wrap up our season here. I'll be judging for the Big Bass 250, and then the following weekend we've got our end of the year championship as well on Table Rock. So
that's awesome, man. I can't tell you how bad I wanted to make that get involved, but I was minus an event. I was one event shy of being able to get in. Plus, to be honest with you, the budget just wasn't going to work for us. That fuel cost really climbed up and took a shot on my budget this year. So
yeah, it's hit everybody pretty good.
I know that. Well, listen, man, I wanted to, we made an announcement of the schedule. We did an episode where we went over the schedule with folks and we chatted about it. And we talked about some of the adjustments we're making, this and that. And I'm sure, Facebook allows, a lot. I know a lot of our anglers that fish this stuff, and we're connected out there. So I've been getting some feedback here and there. Some mostly, all positive. Some, with a lot of questions about some of the stuff. And so, like you and I were talking offline, just wanted to kind of, give some folks maybe an idea of where our train of thought was coming from when we're making these, so that they understand that if it maybe is something new, that there's a lot more than just hey, this sounds like a good idea that goes into this stuff, and the whole purpose behind this is the anglers and the series as a whole. And so being able to convey that and give them a chance to, comment, say their piece, this and that, always want to try to keep that door wide open, right?
Yeah, exactly. We just tried to really take in everything that happened this year and try to make some adjustments and listen to the anglers and get some feedback on ways we can improve things. And I think we did a pretty good job of it. I guess the proof's in the pudding. We will see what the numbers turn out to be next year. I just really wanted to relax and have a fun series for guys to go fish. I mean, we're not trying to be the next Hobie or the next Bassmaster or, KBF or whatever. We're just trying to put out some fun tournaments on some fun locations at some good times of the year, and just let everybody go out there and, not only have a chance at winning a good payout, but, having a good time fishing as well, because that's what the sport's all about, just having fun with your buddies, right?
Man, you hit the nail right on the head, and that is the fact that taking some pressure down. And you said this a while ago, and it was so insightful to me that it really changed my whole outlook on things when we started to discuss things. And you said the simple fact that, listen, we're not a professional series. And although there might be a contingency of guys, anglers, men, guys and gals out there that want to fish in something like that, that's not us right now. And we need to stop trying to set rules and set, things up to act like something that we're not.
Yeah.
So living in our own skin and getting back to the fact that kayak fishing, the community is something, it's the people, man. The chance to go to great fisheries at the right time of year, win as much money as you can win. I mean, if we put numbers up there, the payout scales, with the All-American are as high as anybody in the nation right now. So if we get the numbers there, you got a chance at winning some serious money, from this deal. But more importantly, and hang out with your, with a bunch of people that you enjoy hanging out with, man. I mean, that's a phenomenal setup like that. And that was, to me, that was one of the biggest keys when you brought that point up during one of our meetings, because it really helps kind of, hey, chill out and let's set this thing up to be a good experience. Let's focus on the anglers some more. So kudos to you, man. And that's, I think that's exactly what we've got, the table set up for.
Yeah, and thank you too for all the work you've been doing behind the scenes, getting the stuff set up for next year too. Because I think we're going to have some really nice award locations. We're gonna, it's not just going to be showing up and taking some pictures like we've been doing. This is going to start turning into a nice event at our award ceremony. Really excited to see how that's going to play out this year, because we've got a lot of good changes coming for the award ceremonies.
Well, and that was one of the priorities that you and I discussed in Troy. Troy Anke, when we were sitting around discussing, one of the priorities we had was improve the angler exposure, because we know a lot of these anglers do have sponsors. A lot of these anglers that travel around, that we're pulling, from far distances, they want to get that value piece, right? So when they win, or when they place, we wanted to make sure we had a good venue that can really showcase the area where we're at and really showcase that angler, man. It was an important deal. We want to give them as much positive press that we can.
Yeah, and this year too, we're getting involved with the local communities at nearly every event as well, working with them to help make it even better. And the support that they've been showing so far has been really great too.
I know, right? It's cool to hear these places give us that feedback that, yeah, man, we want to have you here. And they love hearing from us that we want to provide a positive, not only economic, but just, positive impact in general of our series coming into your location there. We want to see if we can do something to, to give back, to say thank you, and we've got some programs on deck that will, on different podcasts, we'll start getting into more details of that stuff. But more importantly, just the impact of just bringing in, a national series. While we are Midwest and region to the Midwest U.S., we still cover a great deal, and that does carry some value to them. They appreciate that for sure.
Yep, it's good. It's nice to see that support too. That's kind of reassuring as to how things really could turn around next year.
For sure. So let's get into it. And I want to give kudos to one of the guys that's in the green room right now. I see here, Mr. Strawbridge. He, I'll tell you, of guys that are out there, Jim has his pulse on our sport so very well. He's been around the block, man. He's not a rookie on any measure. He's not new to any aspect of our sport. And every now and again, he'll drop these little gems of knowledge on you. If you're paying attention, you can actually pick up on them. And one of the things he said is that, to really pay attention to the fact that change in our sport can sometimes be a real difficult thing. Mm-hmm. And it's important that when you make adjustments or changes, do them little bits at a time, work your way towards end result type stuff. So that was for sure. You and I spoke about that, during when we were, talking about some of these adjustments. And that to me it was just so key. But let's go ahead and get into one of the first. First and foremost, we're going back to Saturday, Sunday. And I wanted to talk about basically how we came to that decision, because there was a good group of people out there that were really in high support of Friday, Saturdays, with being able to get back on the road on Sundays. It wasn't as if that was a, universally disliked thing. There were a lot of guys that liked it, but we made the adjustment to go back to Saturday, Sunday. And what are your thoughts on that?
I personally, I like the Friday, Saturday better myself, but we just, like you said, I mean, we try to make these little adjustments each year based on the feedback we get from the anglers. And that was one of the biggest things we heard back was the fact that a lot of guys wanted to go fish on Saturday, Sunday. They couldn't get the Friday off, or they had to take extra days off from work, and they'd rather just come in and then leave and drive that night. But we decided just to go with the standard. I mean, that's pretty much the norm. I mean, that's what everybody does. So we went back to Saturday, Sunday, and everybody seems to be pretty happy about it. But yeah, I mean, we did cut the second day a little bit shorter by a couple hours, but I think that'll work out well too.
For me, when I cast my vote on that whole topic, when we were talking about it, the way I looked at it was this: is that those of us that like the Friday Saturday were also completely okay with the Saturday Sunday, right? I mean, we're going to fish because we want to fish a national trail that's run proper and it goes to cool places. So we're going to fish it no matter what. But those folks that did not like it literally opted not to get in the events, right? It wasn't just a dislike, and it was just something like a, I don't know, like, too much salt on, your French fries or whatever. It was, no, I'm not doing it if you're doing Friday, Saturday. So to me, it was like, okay, well, I guess we got to go back to Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
because you really, obviously we want more guys in there. We want more locals in. We want more people to hit the rosters. So it's a must deal. So that, to me, it made sense, especially like you said, we did get a lot of feedback on that piece. But you opened up a good segue for another one of the changes that we're slowly going to make here, and that is the shortening of day two by a couple hours. So it's basically 2/3 of a day as opposed to a full day in there. What was the train of thought that why are we moving into that area?
Well, the there was actually two things that kind of went into that. One was to give everybody more of an opportunity to have time to get to the award ceremony and still be able to get home, because some guys would have a really long drive, and so they would have to get off the water and just immediately take off to get back home so that they have enough time to get some sleep before they got to go back to work. And then the other factor was the fact that they could just take off early and have more time to get home. So it just gave more travel time, more opportunity for the awards, for guys to even hang out. If they have extra time, they can hang out and enjoy the day together there at the award ceremony and just talk and share stories. But I just think it's going to be an overall improvement. And it also, like, one of the things that I was trying to put into this was to take the pressure off of everything. So this is kind of lowers the pressure valve a little bit on day two. You can relax a little bit. You don't have to worry about how you're going to get home or how much time you need to get to the awards. We're going to try and make it as simple and relaxing as possible so you can just go out there and enjoy the day fishing.
I love it, man. And that was, to me, it accomplished those things because, I mean, obviously trying to set up a series, we want, hands down, I want everybody to know this. We want you at the awards. If we have 75 guys and gals enter the event, I'd love to have 75 people at the awards. I know that's never going to happen, and we realize that. However, we want to give the opportunity because the awards location, we're trying to make them, number one, a lot cooler. To show up to, going to have some drink there, going to have some food there if we have our way at these locations. So it's going to be a good way to end the day fishing. Number two, it's a fantastic networking opportunity to network with other anglers, learning about how their day went, how they approach this thing, especially if you maybe struggled during some of this stuff here. There's a lot of guys and gals that are willing to share information out there, and this is a great place to do it. And obviously, we want to try to see we get that sponsor support around for these events, so we can get some swag, get some gear in your hands, for making the trip, make these trips more enticing. This is a great way to do it. If we're starting at 2:00, awards location, it also makes it a little bit easier to negotiate that stuff with potential locations that want to host us, like sporting event centers and things like that. So, yeah,
Yeah, and it's
I think
places that are closed on Sundays or close early on Sundays too, since it is on a Sunday. So
agreed. Yep. Yeah. So I'm excited about that one too, man. And that's this coincides directly with this last big. This is the one that seems to be lifting some eyebrows because it's new. This is the big adjustment here that's new to a lot of folks, and they have different opinions on this. And that is 10 fish. 10 fish overall, not 5 per day, but 10 fish, regardless of the time you catch them. You got all day Saturday and 2/3 of a day Sunday to catch your best 10 fish. So that means you're never out of it. Down to the last 20 minutes of the event, you got a shot at cashing a check at these events. Now, some of the feedback that I've been hearing is some folks perhaps don't think that's as challenging. My response to that reply is this. Number one, maybe you're right, but we haven't done it yet. No one's held a format like this. No one's fished this yet. So I say let's reserve, those comments until we can actually speak on this, because right now all it is conjecture, right?
Yeah.
But number two, I think it offers different challenges involved. And I love the fact that you can't take your foot off the gas to that last bell rings, man. You got to keep hammering fish down and putting fish up on the board, because you never know when that next fish is a 22-inch, cow that you're going to roll in and set yourself up for one heck of a payday. Because if you're not doing it, then maybe the guy behind you that's not quitting does it, and bam, sets the thing up. So that piece there, that's kind of when they say it's not as challenging as what it is for the 2-day events that go on with, like you said, Bass and Hobie. Right. We know that, and we're okay with that because we're not them. Right. I mean, what they have is fantastic. It's amazing. It's great. We're just not that. We're something different, So what are your thoughts on that whole piece?
Yeah. I mean, that idea was also born from the fact of trying to be more angler friendly with the fishing times. Basically, you can go fish anytime you want, and you're not going to be really handicapped per se. I mean, there is going to be an advantage to fishing the full tournament times, but if you can't get in, if you've got to leave on Sunday to get back home, you can just fish all day Saturday and go for those 10 fish on Saturday, and then hit the road and head home, and then hope that your score holds. Right. Maybe you've got, something going on Saturday and you can't be there Saturday, but you can on Sunday. So you can go in Sunday morning and maybe you can catch right back up with everybody else. You're not out of it. As well as anybody else that's in the tournament. If they're fishing both days, if they had a bad day one, they're not out of it. They can still catch up. In a 2-day format, if you've got 5 fish per day, if you skunk on day one, you're pretty much, your tournament's over. Yep. This way, it's not. Also, even if you catch 1 or 2 fish on day one, and then you're like, crap, and day 2, you don't even feel like going out on the water. You don't even want to fish. You just head home because you don't have a chance. Well, now you do. So this new format means you can pretty much fish any time frame you want. It's basically just one big tournament, 10 fish total, with a break at nighttime on Saturday night. Right. And then go back out Sunday morning, and then we'll meet up in the afternoon for the awards and hopefully have some drinks and some food, like you said.
Man, and I got to tell you, if I were still doing it like I was doing it this year, where I am driving 12 to 14 hours to get on location to any good amount of water, this format actually makes that drive there even more exciting for me, because there have been events where I've gone out and I've had a really rough first day, and I know for a fact that I'm out of contention, that I'm not going to catch the leaders down. So what I'm going out for on day 2, I mean, I never left. That's just not in my makeup. I don't bail out. I don't leave. I'm going to complete it. I'm going to finish the day out. But nevertheless, I'd be lying if I didn't say inside my head was just like, well, now we're just going to go fun fish. Now we're just going to try this. Now we're, blah, blah, blah. Dude, while this doesn't apply to me this year, coming up, I think of the other folks that out there that do drive 8, 10, 12 hours. There's a reason to drive to these locations for 8 hours now, man, because you do have 1 2/3 of a day to go try to, have a blast and get on a bunch of fish, man. So I'm super excited for this. And again, I give way to the fact that I know some folks will have challenges with it, and that's cool. But what I would highly encourage is try it. Try it before you start passing too much judgment on the thing, because I think you're going to see as this thing unfolds that this is going to be pretty exciting to watch it. And again, it's not that big of a deviation, dude. I mean, it's not like, it's not like Friday, Saturday, right? It's a much smaller change than that. So, and it's just a small adjustment to it. Well, listen, man, I was hoping to be able to get a little bit deeper into the schedule, but for what it's worth, give an update. I know you've been working hard. You've got a lot of local stuff still going on. You still have seasons with Moyak and, like I said, the judging and such. But this stuff is coming together. And, man, people like Kentucky and Bogie and some of these places, they're excited to have us. You got some cool information you shared with me about Ouachita down there, Table Rock. Man, these things are setting up. These are going to be some fun events.
Yeah, La Crosse is really excited. We're coming up there as well.
Oh, big time. Yeah, there's I wish we could share all
Yeah,
information.
that's going to be good.
But this is going to be, yeah, a ton of fun, and just establishing a relationship with lacrosse up there in that area. And just Wisconsin, man, they got some phenomenal fishing up there, and so I think this is going to be a ton of that one. Just so you folks know, we are working on. We have a possibility at, like, we're going to try to do this at several locations. A media boat, anglers. We're going to try to get a media boat together for Sunday, where we're going to come out and see if we can get some good action shots of you on the water there. And so when we find locations that we have people willing to work with us and help us at the All-American here, kind of, get established, those are the things that we want to start doing is getting some media coverage. We'll share those photos of the whole event, just like Bass does. Bass obviously has media crews and such that they work with.
They're doing a great job of that.
It is. I've had the chance to fish in several, a couple events, and I love seeing those photos they took of my fat butt in my unlimited. That was they never get the skinny side of me, They always get the fat side. I'm not sure I have a skinny side, I guess. But yeah, that's something we're also trying to see if we can follow suit with. So, and lacrosse right now seems to be that we might have a good lead on some guys that can help us with that. So, should be a ton of fun. Well, listen, man, I'm going to go ahead and turn you loose here. I know you got a lot going on. I got the CKB guys sitting in the green room here. It is we're on about 30 minutes right now, so I'm excited. I'm hoping as time goes on, we're going to do some more podcasts where we'll leave this open. We'll set up a good week where people know we're going to go live at a certain time, and that way they can come in and ask us questions if they have them. And we can do, just some open forum discussion if people, really have, questions with that. Highly encourage you folks, email, send an email over. That's one of the best ways. Hitting us on DMs is another good way. We just may not have the full time to be able to text everything back on that stuff. But I know my view on it is I'm a wide open book and will be willing to discuss anything with anybody anytime. Provided that we're just not blabbing to blab. But if you have thoughts on some of this stuff, definitely want to hear it. Definitely want to consider it. So, Josh, thank you so much, brother, for teaching me, taking me under your wing, man, on this. I'm learning so much working with you, dude. This is super, super exciting. What's coming down the pike? I can't wait to keep getting more and more stuff put together.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be pretty cool next year how this works out. So thanks for all your help.
Of course, brother. Of course. Well, good luck on the judging of the Big Bass, and good luck at your championship. We'll be watching, of course, and cheering the Moyak guys on, and that should be a cool deal to watch take place down there at Table Rock.
Right on, and good luck with your event coming up too on Pueblo.
Appreciate it, man. We're hoping to have some good food, some good fish. That should be a ton of fun. All right, brother. Thank you so much.
All right, man. Good night.
Take care. All right, folks, that was Joshua Booth, All-American Kayak Series, the founder of the Feast, the man, the guy who's teaching me and learning me all the good things that give you some headaches when you run these things. Now, speaking of pain in the butt, I got a couple guys sitting in the know. These guys, I love these two guys to death. High respect for both these guys. We're switching over now, folks, to the Colorado Kayak Bassmasters. Our angler meeting just took place. That put together all the members. James runs a phenomenal club here. All the members got a chance to kind of vote on a bunch of cool things and got some good stuff. So we got both these guys in here. Let's bring in Mr. Codename by Flanagan gave him this one, old Jimmy Straws. Let's bring him in. Bada bing. Mr. Strawbridge, how are you, sir?
Pretty good.
How's the back? You're smiling at least,
It's a facade.
That's right. Well, let's bring in the number your Riker here, your number one. Let's bring in Mr. Matt Flanagan. Sorry.
Salty, Mr. Salty.
Oh, Matt, we can't hear you, brother. Yep, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I was doing that for the break. Yeah, but anyway, Mr. Up is what I was saying.
You just pulled the Strawbridge move.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us here. There was just a lot of cool things and a lot of different things that got voted on, man. It was a big night. There were some surprises that popped up. There were some things that we kind of figured would be in play. But as a member, and this is what's cool, is I get to be just a straight member with the CKB and fish as an angler. And then obviously I get to jump in your shoes with the All-American Kayak Series, and learn from Josh and work over there. So it's so cool to see this stuff unfolding. And I found the Norton event. I want to get to that. Just I love the fact that you guys are going to kind of beta test for us, this 1 2/3 day. You guys are going to throw that out there. So that was a cool deal. But let's get into some of this stuff here. Bear with me while do you have the list of a lot of the vote stuff, or I know I can pull it up I've got it right here because you did an awesome summary of it, Matt.
Yeah, you did. That was a great job.
Thank you.
Here we go. Club meeting notes. Bada bing. All right. So the first one, we'll just go down the list, man. And I just wanted to talk with you guys and get your feelings on it and get your thoughts as we move forward. So the first one, this was kind of a big one. And I know there's a lot of a little bit of uncertainty with this, but then there's other people that are really stoked about it. And that is to qualify for the state championship, to earn an opportunity to go fish in our sport's biggest event, the national championship by Bassmaster. The CKB has now voted, the anglers voted, that you need to be able to compete in 2, not 1 as the previous year, but 2 regular season events to qualify for a chance to enter that deal. Talk to me, Jim. What are your feelings on this, as we go forward with that bad boy?
I don't mind it. It's when it first came up, I thought, okay, maybe we might lose participation, but I don't know. I think there's enough guys committed to the series where I don't think will fade off too much. I was really surprised by that because I brought it up at the meeting and I was kind of just going through this year's, 2023 references saying, hey, how's everything going so far? Are we doing good? You guys want to keep it at 1 tournament to qualify? And then, the chatter started. And I'm like, well, we got something going on. So, 45 minutes later or whatever, like you said, the anglers, we all put a vote up and we voted for 2 events. So I think it's a good thing for our club. I really do.
Matt, what's your thoughts, brother?
Same. I think it just I don't know how to say this, but it ensures the person we send to the Bassmaster Classic is really, someone who's into the club. And that's not to exclude anybody. We still, we've got some Nebraska anglers in the club. They're still going to have a great chance. They get, 2 events at Red Willow, 1 in Norton. So it's not, I don't think, excluding anybody. I think it just solidifies it, because it's a big deal to be able to send someone to the Bassmaster National Championship. And we want that person to represent the club.
100%. I can tell you from an angler point of view, just my point of view, my opinion on it, I love it. I think are we going to lose a couple people through the series? Maybe, but we've always talked about the CKB in the fact that we, much like what we were just discussing about the All-American, we were trying to live in our skin. What are we? We value high competition at the CKB. We value commitment, to the club. And while it's a cool thing for others to have an opportunity, be committed to the club, man, because a lot of us really believe in the club. And while we may not be, involved in other things other than fishing, that's cool too, man. That's all right. We like fishing against top quality anglers and really testing ourselves, really putting a challenge down. Dude, when you win one of those plaques sitting behind you there, Jim, when you win one of those, it's something that it carries some pride with it, dude, because who you had to beat to get there, and I like that. That's a cool side of it, especially to have that, here in the state. That's a cool deal. So I think it's exciting, and I agree with both of you. I think there's enough core members that will we be able to send 3 or 4 next year? Maybe not. Maybe it's 2 or 3.
I bet we'll get at least 2. I don't think we'll go back down to 1. We'll send at least 2.
Yep.
I probably think we'll still send 3. And we might even reach 4. I mean, the way we grew last year,
right?
No, I don't know that we can grow that much again this year, but I bet we'll send at least 3.
Well, listen, I want to give kudos to both of you gentlemen on that topic right there about growth. We get this mindset that grow, 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 forward progression, forward progression, forward progression. And hey, man, sometimes in certain situations, maybe. But we had this discussion that night. Colorado waters can only support so much. And if you want to have a good tournament where you're not on top of each other or where you're not kind of fighting to do a milk run, having 70 angler field is just not good on a lot of our water. There's only a couple bodies of water that we have where you could kind of get away with that.
One I can think of, Pueblo, unless we want to drive all 8 hours to the other side of the state. I mean, Horsetooth can't handle that many.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of those things that you got to be careful. And like we said, depending on when you fish Pueblo too, wrong time of the year. Eric Ali brought this up, and speaking of the man himself, he's here with a couple good comments jumping in here. And that's some high brain stuff right there.
The big fella's got away with words.
I love him to death, man.
That's perfect.
That's
perfect for this club. What says it better than that?
At the end of the day, it's one of those things, and you guys keep that stuff in mind, man. You're educated enough on these waters here. Jim, you have a ton of experience from boat, kayak, and you bring that to the field for all of us. And you teach a bunch of old guys that, you teach new guys that. I get, when I see some of our younger guys that are jumping in, when I say young, to me, it's anything under 30. If you're under 30, you're a young guy to me. And if those guys that are competing under 30, they got such a cool opportunity in front of them to come in and fish with the experience that's sitting here and see how a club should be run. They might be ruined, because if they move out of state and go to someplace else, they're going to be like, what the hell is this?
Well, if I can do my job right, and me and Matt do what we're doing right now, as far as giving diversity and opportunities to make us all better, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. That is the number one premise for the CKB, is to give Colorado guys opportunities and chances to get out of this state and fish anything but clear, deep water. I mean, right. Give us other things, give us opportunities, give us 2-day formats, give us a day and a half, give us 5 fish, 10 fish. That's what we need to be a better, well-rounded angler.
100%, man. That diversity. It used to be, remember back in the days, Denny Brower, and you could be the flipper, right? And yep. you could make a living. Those days are gone. Unfortunately, in our sport, those days are gone. If right. You want to take this to the next level, if you're only going to fish in Colorado, yep, you can survive if you are a drop shot master. Okay, you can fish any one of our bodies of water on a drop shot and probably cash checks with it. But I promise you, come play down in the swamps with the gators and throw your drop shot around and see how much fun you have.
Right.
Trust me, I tried, but no, I suck at drop shot. I mean, I'm trashing Colorado, and everyone knows that, and that's okay. I'm not a finesse guy, dude. It's just not my thing. I had to go to Nebraska.
Every one of those trophies behind me came from every place else but Colorado. Pretty much. I mean, not the circle ones, right? But I don't really fish that well in Colorado, honestly. I'm consistent in Colorado. But I think, people look at me and they go, oh, Strawberry, he's going to be out deep on some hump 50 feet down, using his electronics and forward facing and this and that. But I mean, you get me in the swamps, you get me around cover, you get me around 3-4 feet stained water, all that stuff. I love that stuff. I'm from upstate New York originally. So it brings me back to my roots. So I love it.
We all can't be Flanagan. We all can't be Ali, right? I mean, those guys, these are or Trev, these guys, Jason DeWong, these guys are killers. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Or Leslie Ali. We all can't be those.
The champ.
That's right. The champ. So it's like, no, it's one of those deals that I love the fact that, and like Eric just said, iron sharpens iron. I use that for years in football. And that's why we scrimmaged at full speed. That's why we did a lot of things that some guys didn't like. But it always made it made sense, and I love the CKB following that. So that was the first deal on there. Why we went to the 2. Now the next one, this one, and this one's going to be a tricky one here. We all voted for this, but it was all like, man, let's hope this works out okay. Trinidad, because of the time of year and because of the location and the size of the water, we were worried about bringing a 40 angler field down there, 40 or 50, because there is some potential to pull some of those New Mexico guys up too, which is awesome. I would love the fact that when bass clubs can work together like that. That is a super cool thing. However, Trinidad just isn't that big a body of water. So going on June 15th, this Trinidad event is going to be limited to the first 25 anglers to register at Tourney X. Talk to me your feelings on that, Jim. What what got us to that, and how you think that's going to play out.
Well, what kind of brought me to that is just like you said, it's not the biggest body of water, right? And you start getting a lot of people. Once again, remember, the premise of this club is to make yourself become a better angler. And when you get so many people on a small body of water and you're stuck in one spot and you want to run and you go to your next spot and someone's sitting on it, and then the next spot, someone's sitting on that, it's like you're just sitting in one spot. To be the best angler you can be, making adjustments and making decisions throughout the day is key to success at the highest level. So we feel that to be the best you can be, and for the best guy out of the 25 to be out there, we can't have 40, 50 people out on a small body of water. Just, pick a point. If the fish come to me, I guess I'm going to win. There's zero skill in that. Zero skill. The skill is when I go to that point and I thought they were there yesterday, wind changes direction. It's not cloudy and windy. It's bluebird skies and slick calm. Those fish aren't there. I'm like, oh boy, I got to make myself an adjustment. I got to get over here, go there, do this. And I'd be able to make those adjustments. And then when those adjustments work and I finish well in a tournament, that's a complete cycle of the best you can be. And that once again, given anglers the opportunity to exercise their decisions, whether their decisions pay off or not, you will find out. And 9 times out of 10, they don't. But that's the key is we need people to make decisions and be able to move and make adjustments so they can be the best they can be.
That's awesome stuff. Matt, what are your feelings on that?
Yeah, just what he said. And also, I was a little worried about this one. It'll really be a bummer if there are some people that get left out. I think we'll be right on the line. We averaged 25 per event last season. And if it turns out, we'll know February, March, what the numbers are looking like as far as paid members. And if we do grow even more, maybe Trinidad just doesn't make the cut in 2025. But I think it is the right decision because it can get too crowded on that body of water. But it is a great fishery, so I'm glad we're going, but it can get too crowded with any more than that. So I think it's the right call.
Nothing is worse than making that long of a drive to have a shitty experience, right? So it's quality, and Eric will appreciate this. It's quality over quantity here, and that piece there is where as we were discussing it that night at the meeting, that started resonating in my head that, it's better. And hey, man, if somehow I'm not one of them, if I'm, asleep at the wheel and I don't get registered up in time, which unfortunately I live and breathe this, so I'm going to be waiting for you, and then I'll click it the moment you tell me. But the moment I hear it on the page, I'm going. But yeah, it's one of those things that even if I can't, I'll be cheering from the sidelines, because I know who's going there is going to have a good experience. It's going to be a good time down there for sure. So
yeah, and the timing on that too is going to help us as well to be able to make those adjustments. It's not just one particular pattern like, oh, it's spring and it's this, or it's pure summer and they're deeper near, channel swings, and that takes everybody off the bank because they're just not there, or it's just a morning bite. We're going to be there June 15th. We're going to have fish coming in, we're going to have fish going out, and we're going to have fish on beds. I do believe, and a lot of it depends on the thaw. That's higher elevation. You've got pure mountain water coming right out the back on the west side of that place. So that west side could be blown out. And if that is the case, cold, dirty water doesn't fish well, period, in anywhere in this country, let alone here in Colorado. Those fish will vacate that, and it's going to take all the fish out of that. So that even that end of the lake becomes unfishable, really, to be competitive. So that's going to concentrate us even more on the first 2/3 from the dam west.
Last time we were there 2 years ago, that's exactly what happened. That whole end of the lake
Yeah.
was junk.
Yep.
There were little guys down in there. Ask me how I know. And it was only late in the day that I made a couple adjustments. And then we were dealing with like a 12 boat tournament that was taking place without a permit at the same time, with us. And there were several anglers that had mentioned, that there were some issues, along the points, this and that took place that, it made it tough for us to be able to try to fish, that deal. So even with our numbers then, in addition, to that, we saw what happens that time of year if it gets overcrowded. So
yep.
I think it's a cool deal there. All right, man, let's move on to this Norton, Kansas one. I'm excited for this. We went there this year. It was a great tournament. Guys went there, guys and gals that went there loved the place, had a great time. So it's back on the schedule again for next year, September. The difference, though, this is a cool one. This is a one-time deal that's been done, is it's going to be an actual 2-day tournament. Going into this thing, you're paying one entry fee, and it's going to be 1 3/4 day, just like we talked about a while ago with the All-American. You guys are going to end it at noon on Sunday, and then give the award ceremony, after the conclusion there. That's super exciting, man. Matt, why don't you start us off with this? Just your feelings on this Norton deal.
Well, I'm a fan of Norton. That's my spot, and I'm excited to go back and get redemption. But it goes back to Jim's point about making everybody a more well-rounded angler, and giving us those opportunities to fish a 2-day event. For when we go out to the All-American or the Bassmaster Championship, as some of us are. So yeah, it's just,
wow. Bloop. Little mic drop.
Gotta get my jacket. It's getting cold in here.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it just fits that idea, just getting us in the mode of that of a 2-day event, which I've only done one. The only time I've ever done one was the All-American Classic last season, and it is a way different mindset.
It's
just,
a different
just 1
bird,
to 2. I can't even imagine 4 days or whatever the elites and MLF do. I there's no way.
The longest I personally have ever had an opportunity to get in is our 3-day events, and those are even more challenging than 2-day. It's a wicked deal. I've done that in a boat and in a kayak both now. But yeah, Jim, what are your thoughts, man? 2 days in Norton.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. Once again, this was all brought up by the anglers. We originally said we were just going to go September 7th. And then when I announced the schedule, I had some people direct message me and go, hey, we're driving out there. Can you do it like a Red Willow event? And I'm like, well, 2 days back to back, Saturday, one event, and Sunday, 2 more trophies, more expense. We're a smaller club. Would you guys want to do a day and a half or a 2-day? And they're like, yeah. So that's why I jotted those notes down at the meeting, and I brought that up. And I can't wait to see that, because once again, back to adjustments. You got to start watching weather patterns 2-3 days before that's happening. What direction is wind coming out of? What's happening with the bite? How is it going to change? Once again, adjustments and decisions. If we can all make those adjustments and decisions as fast as possible, we are going to be the best we can be. And I put us up against anybody in the nation. And you got to train yourself to do that.
I'll tell you, man, it's going to come in handy with that, because what folks, don't forget out there, folks at home watching this recorded or watching it live, the All-American Kayak Classic also has, it's not just an individual gets an opportunity at 10 grand, but we also crown the #1 club team in America as well at the Classic, where the top 5, the top 5 anglers from the club get basically their entries put in, and this is club versus club, out there. So there's an actual opportunity to go represent your state as a club and represent your club up against some of the best anglers in the country, and that is a cool deal. And to win the All-American, that is a 2-day format. That's 5 fish each day. And you're going to have to, go out there on very different waters than what we fish out here, So yeah, man, I'm excited. I think you're setting up some folks, and I know, as being one of those people, there's a group of anglers out there, inside the CKB that are very thankful for these opportunities, man. And that this is, we didn't think normally we'd have this option out here, so to be able, it's worth that 4-hour run, that 5-hour run, whatever it is. It's worth it. It's worth the drive, because it's, if you like pushing yourself, like testing yourself, man, that's where it's at.
It even came up in the meeting, and I think it's a great idea. Maybe not this season, but making the championship a 2-day, a local 2-dayer, because local, it's even easier to just do a 2-day, of course. And, if we're trying to be that competitive club, hey, let's make the championship a 2-day event.
Yep.
So, that's something we'll talk about next meeting and vote on next time. But it's got to be up to the anglers.
That is the key right there, Matt. It's up to the anglers. Matt and I do all this stuff to make it happen. So you always need a leader to take the reins and go forward with it, and that's what mine and Matt's job is. But there's certain decisions I and Matt will make without votes. But for majority of what we do want to get member feedback.
Yeah.
That's key for us. And hopefully we can all stay on the same page with the direction of a club. Where it starts getting nasty is when one person wants to go one way and the rest want to go another, and then you start getting into some problems. So for now, we're all on the same page and we're all focused on the same goal. And that's what's making the series really good, I think.
Yeah. And we had those very discussions behind the scenes, Troy, Josh, and I, that we want this to go the way the anglers want to go. Unfortunately, when you start dealing with, a larger scale where you got a contingency in Arkansas and then Missouri and Iowa and Wisconsin and Oklahoma, it does make it a little harder, because there's a lot more different opinions about what, should happen and should go. Right. So there are some things we will have to make our better judgment on, but at the same time, I personally went into this stuff taking a page from you guys, and that is, hey, let's listen to what the anglers want, out of this whole piece, man, because they're the ones that are going to put the time, energy, money, and commitment. Without the anglers, this thing doesn't go anywhere. So let's see what it is that they're, the majority feedback is coming from them. So I love it, man. I think what you guys are doing is phenomenal. I love the balance between traditional, but yet still a little progressive. We're still trying to, we're growing at a measured, maintainable, sustainable rate, and I love that. I think that balance like that, I'm all about balance, man. Getting that yin and yang working like that. That's good stuff.
Yep.
Your shui, you got good fung in your shui, guys. Just saying.
Was that a shot?
No.
Oh, okay. But that was some new medical term for my back.
That's right. Mr. Strawberry,
Your shui.
So your shui has been funged up. And
Good Lord.
With the amount of jammed up bones you got in your body, dude, I'm pretty sure your shui is all out of whack. But
yeah, the Norton, the Boyd, and the championship really set this old man back a little bit. So we'll work on that. We'll see where 2024 brings.
That's right. So, and everything else, it seemed like there was some administrative discussion stuff that went on. Fees are going to remain the same. That's super cool. There's going to be some extra non-AOI events that the club's looking to partake in. I want to talk briefly before I let you guys go here, though. You were pining for a little bit of just some angler feedback, talking about a team series. What are the thoughts on that? What started that thought? I love it. We do it the All-American side. We do it at that and it was pretty popular. Half the fun, I'll be honest with you, is just coming up with a team name, right? I mean, that right. What can you get away with?
Exactly. No, I mean, you got to keep it fairly clean, right? I mean, we do enjoy bringing the younger kids up, and we don't want to poison them any more than society already is.
That's right.
Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. I don't know. I talked about it last year, and I've been talking to some anglers. You just see in our conversations before, when we go out to dinner on Fridays, when we have our after gatherings, after the award ceremony, you see little cliques of anglers and who works really well together, just behind the scenes at the CKB level. And I thought, man, it would be fun to find someone like you to fish with and to have a team series, because it's really not in this area. And I'm not saying that we need to have, 7 series and trophies. I don't even know how. Obviously, it doesn't even get you anywhere. It's not going to send you to the Bassmaster Classic. It's not. But it's just one of those things that it just came across, and there's been some talk about it. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And it seems like, honestly, we got some pretty good feedback. So here was a thought while we're here. Here was a thought. I was going to do 3 possibly on that July and August when we're off, but that's really cramming it, right? I don't know. I don't know if I don't want to water down Colorado. The CKFC is doing a great job with what they're doing too. And I don't want to try to take away from that. I want us to all have opportunities. But if I was going to do 3 just off the top of my head, I'm thinking maybe the team would be something we could sneak out on those April-ish days where we're taking that chance where it could be cold, hit one end of April or end of April, then hit one in the July, August, and then maybe one in this time frame where we're the end of October, where that water has made that transition, that bait is moved to the backs of the coves. And, you can talk with your teammate. So if we were fishing and I can go down the south end of Pueblo or something, somebody goes up to the other end, the North Shore Marina or east or west, you work together. I think it would just be a cool format to see. We could do a little side thing where we have team of the year with, team of the year points and just fun. So I don't know. We'll talk more about that. It's probably nothing that's going to be implemented in 2024. I don't think, but we still got some time.
Yeah, for sure. There's a couple months here to kind of stew on it and see where the feedback's on it. I know October can be challenging for some guys in the club. One of the guys who just joined us, Mr. Trev Stuckey, I know this time of year is tough on him for sure. Yeah. But he's won enough. So they, I'm joking.
But man, all those swim baits and his techniques, I would love to see Trev out in the fall, fishing anywhere in Colorado in the fall, just because of the type of angler he is,
Yeah, totally. So the dude's a stick, man.
Yeah.
Ton of fun. But yeah, I like that idea, that April, summer, fall thing. That's a pretty cool deal.
Just gotta make a rule that we got to split up the Alis. They cannot be a team. Okay?
No, I don't think you'll get them to enter.
I want to see Ali versus Ali and see how that works out.
Oh, I don't think that's a good idea.
I think we know how that'll work out, don't we?
No, I think Team Ali already said they're in, so I think that's telling you, yeah.
That would actually be
I
cool.
do think that as long as the two of you can't be on a team together, that's yeah.
Well, I think we're all going to take pride, and we want the Alis to team up. So the trophy is beat the Alis, right? Yeah. That should be the series, the 2024 Beat the Alis series, team series.
I beat Team Ali. That's going to be the shirt right there.
Right. Exactly. I like it. See, once again, that's a competitor in all of us. We don't even have nothing going yet, and we already want to stomp somebody out.
And we do it with so much, jubilation, too.
And, here's something else that I was sneakily kind of keeping inside it. I'm going to release it here now. I would love to see a CKB Tournament of Champions. We're getting old enough in the series where we can take everybody who's won a state championship and a first place and get them on a small body of water, and let's see what we got.
Dude, that would be awesome. Now you make me want to win even more now.
Well, then these are all the things. You know how iPhones come out with all these different progressions and they keep you running? I've got so many ideas to keep you guys interested. It's going to go crazy.
Jim Strawbridge, the iPhone of bass.
Not
CKB, the iPhone of bass.
Asterisk, thanks to Matt Flanagan.
Right. This year, now with more Flanagan.
Exactly.
Well, this is exciting stuff, man. So, All-American Kayak Classic coming up. Can't wait to go down there. And I have every intention of representing CKB at the All-American. I qualified through them. I checked with Josh on how all that works. He just recently put out a deal about that. So I won't be representing the All-American. I'm going to announce my name on there, and I'll get to be able to fish most of that event because my understanding is we're going to have a different director coming in. I think we're going to get Tyler back for that event just to direct it. I don't think he's fishing it, but I think he's going to come back and MC the thing with Josh together. And so I have a feeling I'll have an opportunity to fish that event fully. So I'm excited about that.
Nice.
And oh, hey, Trev's got a great question here. This is asking if any of us are heading to Lake Fork to that native big bass deal.
I wish.
Same.
I wish.
Back says no.
Yep.
Yep. No.
Early spring schedule says no. I gotta save up for a couple trips. I already have planned in April and so March and April. So I really wanted to make it. That was.
I know you and
I put out the initial post asking who's going with me, and then I eventually had to sort of back out.
I'm with you, Matt. You and I were talking from the very beginning about, maybe rooming down there, splitting some cost, and I'm in the same boat though. The budget hit, and then also my wife and I are going to make a trip to Minnesota to go see my mother and see my daughter that are both out there. And so I kind of figured it's like, don't know if I can squeeze all this stuff in this end of year. Let's save up a little bit. We've spent enough this year.
Well, we do have some Colorado anglers, that fish both CKFC and CKB going. I know Ron Solberg's going. Johnny's down there.
Johnny's going down.
Jeremy is on his way down with I don't know, Matt and somebody else. Josh, I think.
I'm trying to think. Rojas was going to make it. I know Rojas was down in that neck of the woods, I thought. I don't know if he's going to get a shot to fish that too.
Yeah, there were a few. Ex-member Jim Malcolm, he's down there already. He's stationed down there, so he's going to be hooking up with them.
That's awesome.
There were a couple more. Dang, I can't remember.
I hope they get their numbers up, man, so that those payouts are really lucrative for them down there.
Yeah.
So
those seem like a fun event. I'd love to.
I know same time there's a big bass bash going on at Lake of the Ozarks this weekend as well. That was up there, so they'll be having that. So a bunch of end of season stuff going on for sure. Just so you guys know, also Jim, I know your back's kind of taking you out of contention for the end of the season, but Matt, if you're around, can always use the volunteer help depending on what you got going on. But the 10th and 11th of November here, we got that event going on down at Pueblo down there. We're going to have.
I heard you mention that earlier in the show.
Yeah. Should be a bunch of veterans, active military guys from the CKFC and from the CKB. That'll all be coming down. And then we also have some guys coming in, some warriors coming in from outside that need kayaks, and that's where Rack Fishing and I, True Patriot Outfitters, we're working together to put that. But if you want to come down there, man, the TPO would love to have you as a volunteer to help put some guys on fish when we're out there down at Pueblo, and there'll be a fine meal for you, involved. I know there will be space at the campsites that we have if to sleep it in your car, in your van, or whatever. There will be plenty of space because I know we've got 2 spots reserved right now. One's going to have a fifth wheel in it, and it's a pull through, so there'll be plenty of spot there to park. My spot's got my trailer that I'll be staying in, and I think there might be a tent out there. There'll be plenty of spots there. So,
I was actually talking with at the meeting. I was talking to Nick, the weatherman, Weatherall, about getting down to Pueblo because he's down that way, and I wanted to get down to Pueblo for some before it freezes or. Pueblo doesn't freeze, but before it gets too cold. So I'd love to.
I'm crossing fingers, man, that the weather holds out for us. I know we got possibility of some snow, rain coming this weekend, but it's Colorado, so it could get back up to 60s, 70s. Even if it's 50s, that's fine too, man. I'm hoping Pueblo starts to light up.
We all went through that Chatfield April event.
Yeah. But you know what? That cold snap down in Pueblo is going to set those smallies just right.
I hope so.
I really think so. I mean, you can get over into Boggs Creek over there from the South Marina and launch around back in there. Even if you don't get into smallies, I know the wipers will push in there because that bait is going to start moving in. That's going to be the key down there that time of year is look for the bait. Those threadfin shad will be just coming to the surface because the water, it's going to shock them, and they're going to be like, and then they're going to start to transition in. All the smallies are going to – I bet you chatterbait and a spinnerbait would be a pretty big player down there.
I'm hoping so because I want to put these guys on some good fish and want them to have just an awesome experience, to end the season out here. We're really hoping for that for sure. So
it's great stuff you're doing with the TPO. You keep up the good work, and we appreciate everything you do for us here at the CKB, and hopefully we continue with that partnership moving forward. So thank you for everything you do behind the scenes, forward of the scenes, what you do, and for Colorado angling, period, in general. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. We, we love the sport. I love the people involved in this. I told you that was my biggest revelation getting into kayak fishing was the people. Holy crap. I love you guys, man. I mean, it's such a cool ass community out there. There is nothing that compares to it in my mind. I love the fact that if you see a guy with a kayak and fishing gear, I automatically like him. Hey, cool. What's your name? You want to know their story. You want to know what they're up to. What are you fishing with? Where are you going? What are you doing?
My next question is, hey, my back's blown out. Can you grab the other end of this kayak and load it on my truck for me?
Exactly, man. It's,
Nick. Big shout out to Nick at the, was it the championship? I don't even know where I was. I think it was. So. Man, he grabbed that thing and he walked it all the way up Santanka Bay because I was all hunched over like Fred Sanford trying to carry my box up there. And he's like, man, you need help. Jimmy Straw, you need help.
Yeah.
So
you're busted up pretty bad, brother. We need you to rest up, heal up so we can see you back out there again for sure. Well, listen, and thank you for the kind words, man. It's truly our honor, our pleasure. I love working with you guys. Love working with everybody, that we're working with out there, and just hoping we can be business smart about this so that I can keep doing this for years to come, and not be a strain on my wife. I don't want to be a 51-year-old kid to her, that she's got to take care of. I'll let her think that from my humor and my antics. I don't want it to be a reason that she's got like a big fat neck beard living upstairs in the house.
Hey, when you start living in the basement, then you got to start questioning your decisions.
Yeah, because my 21-year-old's down there right now. So if I'm hanging out with him down there, hey, you got any more Cheetos, man?
Exactly.
No, that's the biggest piece for us, so that way we can stay full time with it, and keep it trucking. But have an awesome sport like the CKFC did, that was phenomenal. What a lifesaver for us. There's some other stuff going on with companies right now that are looking to throw out some grants here and there, so we're applying to that, see what we can do. And then, of course, just keep working, man. Just we believe in good karma. That's the thing. Keep serving others, and hopefully opportunities will present themselves. Of course, and then the All-American, the work that we're going to be doing with the All-American around the country, that's going to be a ton of fun and so cool to spread the message out there about kayak fishing and the benefits that come with it. So, well, listen, gentlemen, I won't take up your time anymore. You guys, and what do we got here? From Trev, miss you guys. Take care of that back, straws. That's awesome stuff.
I'm trying.
And we appreciate Eric, Trev, thank you guys so much for joining in and commenting with us here. And if you're watching this recorded, thank you so much for watching the recording. I want people to remember and understand why we do talk a lot of fishing here. The TPO is a nonprofit organization dedicated to serving those that serve. The podcast is merely a platform we use to raise awareness about it. That banner sitting behind me, these guys right here in front of me, we all represent the same thing. We believe in trying to give back where we can. And that's why we run the podcast, is to bring awareness to that. We use fishing as our medium to pass that message on. And it just so happens that what we love to do is damn healthy for you. So yes, if we can spread that to others, win-win around the board. So make sure to give us those likes, those subscribes. That is super, super helpful out there in a major way. Help us grow the channel, keep things moving out there. Guys, hang with me after I close out here, and I'll wrap up with you guys at the end of it. Ladies and germs at home, thank you again. Tight lines and be safe. Ha, right? The wrong exit.
Yeah. Whoops.
Fun.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Together.